If you aren't capturing what you're doing and posting it on social media, you are jeffing in some way, shape, or form. You're not going to be very successful because you're not going to be able to build a community and you're not going to be able to market reminders to people about your episodes. So that's how important it is.
That person reached out to us because they know this is what we do. The only reason they know this is what we do is because of social media. It's because of the online footprint that we're talking about here.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another very special, as always, episode of Next Level University, where we teach you how to level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. We hope you enjoyed our latest episode, number 834, 5 Hard Truths That Help You Grow. That was last week's live podcast. Today, for episode number 835, a common blind spot for early entrepreneurs. So we are talking about the marketing ecosystem, as Alan so eloquently put it. Alan and I get reached out to by a lot of podcasters and a lot of people in general, authors, speakers, coaches, whatever it may be. The first thing that we do when people reach out to us is we check their social media, we check their website, we check their podcast if they're a podcaster, and I can tell you pretty quickly that probably 8 out of 10 times we don't necessarily like what we find. And if we don't, we're going to move on to somebody else. I send the thing we have all the time, please go fill out our application online, because if I can't tell within a minute what you're the best in the world at, what your book's about, what your area of expertise is, what your specialty is, there's a pretty good chance that we're not going to have you on the show. That's what this episode is all about.
This episode is about your online footprint. Imagine you're out at a bar or a bookstore, whatever you're into, and you meet someone. The first thing you're going to do when you go home, if you had a great conversation, and this is someone that you might want to be intimate with, you're going to look them up on Facebook. You're going to look them up on Instagram. You're going to try to see what they're about. So what Kevin and I, again, this is a blind spot. What we wanted to identify here is that the future is digital. And if Kevin and I can't tell within 1 minute of going to each one of your social media pages who you are and what you're about and what you do in the world, that's definitely a major bottleneck to your entrepreneurial success. So if you go to YouTube and you were to look up Evan Carmichael, one of our friends and early mentors, you're going to know immediately that he's into personal development, that he's the 10 things I learned person. So he'll take someone like Gary Vee and do a video basically saying all of the lessons that this person teaches. That's what he's known for. And if you go to his Instagram or his Facebook or his LinkedIn, you're going to see immediately who he is and what he does, which gives clarity and then allows people to reach out. It allows the law of attraction to work for you in the digital world.
Mike Kim, when we had him on, he wrote a book called You Are the Brand. I did have it here. I don't know if I still do. He talks about the rule of 9 on Instagram. You should have your specialty within the first 9 pictures. So if you're a speaker, you should have at least one photo of you speaking. If you're a coach, you should have, whether it's a meme or a picture of you coaching. If you're a podcaster, you should have something about you podcasting. Why don't more people do that, Alan, from your perspective?
They don't know the importance of it. So here's a good analogy, and Kevin and I are both reading a book called The Future is Faster Than You Think. And it talked about how Walmart was a $250 billion company back in, I believe, early 2010s. And Amazon was only a $17 billion company. And now Amazon is a $800 billion company. And Walmart, I think, is up in the threes. E-commerce and online commerce is growing exponentially more than anyone could have ever anticipated. So Walmart was massive in comparison to Amazon, and now Amazon is massive in comparison to Walmart. Now take that into your life as an early entrepreneur. I think people don't understand the value of their online presence. Your online presence actually matters more now in today's economy, in today's marketing ecosystem, than your in-person presence.
What tips do you have for people when it comes to getting on particularly social media? We know a lot of people who are afraid to post to whatever platform it may be, whether it's judgment, whether it's fear. What are they leaving on the table?
Your future success. Kevin and I Googled it earlier 4.66 billion people are on the internet, and that's only going to grow over time. So between Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, Snapchat, you name it, whatever platform is your bread and butter, the point is if I Google your name, you should come up on some social media, and I should know within a very short time. As a matter of fact, let's do this. Kevin and I got invited by, I forget her name. Who was the one who reached out to us to be on her summit? We ended up not being on her summit, but she was a sweetheart.
Oh, I don't remember her name. I can find out.
Okay. Well, while Kevin does that, she reached out and she said, hey, I think you'd be a great fit for this summit. It's a leadership summit, and it's a great opportunity. We're going to reach 50,000 people. And we got on the phone, and it turns out that the summit isn't a great fit because we're not going to end up promoting it. But she said I asked how she found us. That's one of my favorite questions to ask. How did you find us? She said, I Googled self-improvement, and you guys came up. So that's a really good example of why it's so important to make sure that your social media and your online footprint is on point. The other thing that's holding people back is fear of judgment. You're going to have to, if you want to be relevant in the future economy, and this is something that I'll bring to the table as well. If you were to look at the economy 30 years ago, none of it was online because the internet didn't exist. If you were to look at commerce now, something crazy like 70% is online. I mean, Emilia and I literally just bought a couch online, and it's gonna come in the mail in multiple boxes, and then we're gonna assemble it at home. We bought a $1,900 couch without ever having seen it. That's the power of e-commerce. People don't want to go to the store when they can look on their phone, and you just have to understand that. Where attention goes is where the economy goes. And so obviously Amazon made it really easy to make purchasing decisions online. 2-day shipping made it really easy to go click, one click, and then, they ship products to your door. Why would you go and spend 3 hours at a store when you can do click? And a lot of people say, well, I love shopping and I love going in the stores and I don't want to only ever shop online. I don't want to ever only shop online. But the statistics show differently. The statistics show between Grubhub and Uber and all these different things. The statistics are showing, the data is showing that people want to stay home, especially with COVID. And so if you're an early entrepreneur, your online branding, your online presence, your online social media footprint, your online first impression actually matters infinitely more, way, way, way more to the brightness of your future than any. Now, Kevin and I want to be clear, character over everything. Like you're in your intimate relationship and with your kids and with your close friends and with your close business partners and stuff like that, people who actually know you in real life, again, that's another story. Your character needs to be on point as well, and that's what most of this podcast is about. But your online footprint, remember, the way that you are perceived online at first is the most important thing because people don't know you. And this goes back to the old adage of don't judge a book by its cover. But what if the cover's all you get to see? And that's sort of what this online reference is about.
Hey there, Next Level University. Greg here. I'm a proud graduate of both the second quarter group level coaching in 2021 and the last quarter of group coaching in 2021. Both of them were fire experiences. They give you tools to grow in your health, wealth, and love. And so if you want to grow more as a person, you're looking for a team of individuals who are also looking to grow, I highly recommend doing group coaching. It will grow you as a leader. It will grow you as an individual. It will grow you as a teammate. So I highly recommend as you go into 2022, if you're looking to get it off with a bang, just shoot out the gates. Group 5 of group coaching is starting up beginning of January. I highly recommend jumping in on that opportunity and growing both your health, wealth, and love, and learning from Alan and Kevin and all the great tools they have. They give it to you at a way discounted price. I hope everyone has a blessed 2022. Happy New Year.
Taylor was her name, the young lady who was putting on the summit. Taryn and I got Chinese food on Christmas Eve. No, Christmas Eve? Yeah, Christmas night. We got Chinese food on Christmas night. And Do you know which place I chose? The one who had the easiest accessible menu and the one who had online ordering. There was 3 or 4 I could have chosen from. I went with the easiest one to order that had online ordering, so I didn't have to call over the phone. Talk about being in the right place with the right options. You can be that too. And it's interesting too. Consistency is something that we talk about quite often on this podcast. If you're doing something, you have to capture it and you have to post it, especially if it's in your area of expertise. Alan and I are going to do an in-person podcasting speech / masterclass type thing at a school in a couple weeks. And we just spent, I don't know, $300 on new lapel microphones so we can make sure that we can have the best possible content so we can repurpose that on social media. We want people to see not only do we podcast and speak, but you can actually see us doing it. Here is a live shot of Alan and I talking about podcasting to a group of students. There's no better way to influence somebody to work with you than for you to show them you doing your thing. Imagine, what's a good example of this? Well, think of it this way. When you watch sports, you see the best people in the world playing the game that they're the best at. And then they get traded and they do the same thing for another team. If you aren't capturing what you're doing and posting it on social media, you are jeffing in some way, shape, or form. I have empathy because I know in the beginning, Alan, you and I were probably more afraid of judgment than we are now, but you and I have posted every day on social media. I mean, we've missed, but for the most part, every day on social media to grow this podcast in some way, shape, or form. So it is consistency. If you can do it consistently, you'll focus on 1% improvements and you'll get better as you go, but don't miss. Just like anything else, you need to have consistency.
Emilia and I were just very fortunate to be reached out to by someone who wanted to look into relationship counseling and relationship coaching. They reached out on my Facebook and Amy got back to them. Thank you, Amy. But the only reason so think about this. This person, I'll keep it anonymous, her and her husband were considering relationship coaching / counseling. The only reason she thought of me, Emilia and I, is because we were showing that we're doing relationship talks. If you're a listener of this show, you know that relationship talks are a thing. You know we do monthly events. You know that we do relationship coaching every single weekend. And we have for the last year and a quarter. That person reached out to us because they know this is what we do. The only reason they know this is what we do is because of social media. It's because of the online footprint that we're talking about here. If you do something with excellence, but you're not posting about it online, how will people know to look for you? If Emilia and I were doing this behind the scenes, relationship coaching / counseling, and we never talked about it, never showed it on our social media, never posted about it, never showed pictures of our relationship, never showed pictures of our home, never showed testimonials, how would this person have ever known that that's something we do? That's exactly what I'm talking about here. That's exactly what Kevin's talking about here. The future is online. And if you're not online, your economic future in particular will not be as bright as it could be. There are people right now, and think about this as well. If you're listening from another country or you're listening from another time zone, Kevin and I have an opportunity to reach into your life and help you and add value to your life from across the world. That is the future. 4.66 billion people have access to the internet from phones, iPads, devices, laptops, desktop computers. That trend is going to continue. But if I go to your Instagram page and I don't know what you do for your career, or if I go to your LinkedIn page and I don't know what your career has been, I have one mentor of mine. If you go to his LinkedIn, it shows his entire career. It shows every company he's ever worked for. It shows every position he's ever had. It shows the metrics of what he was able to add value to those organizations. He worked his way up, 4 years here, 5 years there, 4 years here, 5 years there, 4 years here. And he worked his way up. Eventually, he's the CEO of several tech companies. But if that wasn't on LinkedIn, how would these other people know to reach out and say, hey, by the way, we've got this other company. We would really love for you to turn it around. It's struggling. We're going to give you X amount of stock options. And I'm not saying that that's what you want or even need. But what I am saying is that it's the same idea. Imagine if the law of attraction could start working on a global scale. And the last thing that I'll say here, Kev, everyone think about the person in their high school that was the biggest jock. Think about the person in your high school that was the biggest jock. For us, I think of John Scurzat. R.I.P. That's a brand. Everyone knows of John in our high school as someone who played football and was really athletic. So everyone, that's the power of people knowing who you are and what you do. Kevin's become sort of known as someone who likes to rap on the side, loves UFC. He's the podcast guy. Every single one of his online pages, you're going to see a whole bunch about podcasting because he wants the world to know I'm the podcast guy. If you want to start a podcast, come our way. If you need relationship coaching, come to Emilia and I. If you want business coaching, come to me. The key is you have to, and one of our early friends and mentors explained this to us. Every post on social media is like shooting a magnet up into the universe and attracting the type of people who value what you value and value what you need.
I had a podcast breakthrough session a couple of weeks ago with somebody, and we got towards the end of the call, and again, my goal was just to add as much value as possible. So I said, this is what I would do. This is the social media strategy. This is the equipment you need. You're good to go. And she, at the end, said, I don't know if I really want to do any promotion on social media. And this is somebody that I thought would be a very good fit for Next Level Podcast Solutions. And right when she said that, I decided this is not a client for us because with all the love in the world, this podcast most likely will not succeed. If you're not promoting on social media to the people that you want to listen to your show, you're not going to be very successful because you're not going to be able to build a community and you're not going to be able to market reminders to people about your episodes. So that's how important it is. I did not even follow up with this person as a potential client because I didn't think it was worth it. That's how important this aspect of your business is. Tomorrow, for episode number 836, how do you communicate a hard truth to someone you care about? It's last week's live Q&A. As you know, if you're listening to this, it is Wednesday, so we have a few more days before our 5th round of group coaching opens up. Make sure you reach out because this is only going to be 10 people, and we're not going to have another round until, April?
Yeah.
So if you miss this one, one per quarter. If you miss this, we will not have another one for 3 months. So make sure you join us. Kickstart 2022, right? And turn your intentions into accomplishments. That is our goal with group coaching.
Group coaching is engineered to help you maximize your potential and achieve more in one quarter than you ever have before, but it goes far beyond that. The most important piece is getting around other people who want to be next level. You are good enough for this group. It is not overly intimidating. A lot of people were scared to be a part of group coaching, and then they ended up absolutely loving it. Kevin and I will be posting testimonial videos on our Instagram stories and Facebook stories all week. If you've been considering coaching, this is designed to dip your toe in. Maybe you've never had a coach. Maybe you're scared of getting a coach. Maybe you don't feel like you have the money. It's designed in particular for a lower price point for someone who wants to give coaching a try and see what it's like. I promise you it will change your life. Give it a shot. Kevin and I have seen so many transformations. We actually just got a testimonial today from someone who did group coaching 2 different rounds. He was in 2 different groups, and he just sent us a 2-minute video that you'll hear, actually, as you already heard as the midtro of this episode, talking about how much group coaching has changed his life. So give it a shot, take a chance, make 2022 better and different than 2021.
All the information you need is on our website as well as in the show notes below. And as always, we love you. We appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you at NLU. We do not have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Please reach out.